Hello and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be looking at the disappearance of Terrance Williams and Felipe Santos. And if it wasn't for Terrance Williams, people would probably never have heard about Felipe Santos. And they went missing in 2004 and 2003, it says, under similar circumstances in Naples, Florida. Both men were last seen being arrested by Steve Calkins, then a deputy in the Collier County Sheriff's Department, for driving without a license. And then they were never seen again. They never went to the jail. Calkins claimed he changed his mind about both arrests and last saw the men after he dropped them off at Circle K convenience stores. On September 4th, 2018, actor, director, and producer Tyler Perry offered a $2,000 reward for any information leading to the location of the men or an arrest on the case. So, and it says they've been covered by shows and stuff. But on August 30th, 2018, a wrongful death lawsuit was filed against him. I don't think he's been arrested or anything. On January 12, 2004, 27-year-old Terrance Williams went missing in Naples, Florida. Williams, a native of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and father of 4 children, had recently moved to Florida to be near his mother, Marcia Williams. Terrance Williams' roommate, Jason Gonzalez, said he spoke to Terrance on the phone on the evening of Sunday, January 11th, before heading to bed. Williams, who had attended a party that evening at a coworker's house, he didn't have a valid driver's license. After being cited for DUI and registration on his car had expired, so he decided to drive to the party illegally after being unable to find another ride. Gonzalez became concerned when Williams did not return home, and he emailed his mother, Marcia, the next day about his concern. Now, the Williams family called the police and filed a missing persons report. Shortly afterwards, she was able to track down his car, the Cadillac, which had been towed from Naples Memorial Cemetery after obstructing traffic. The tow report was signed by Deputy Steve Calkins of the Collier County Sheriff's Department. The family contacted the Sheriff's Department and discovered that he didn't file an incident report and he didn't make an arrest. So he didn't file those things, but he had the car towed and he put the guy in the back of his car, and then Terrance Williams in the back of his car just vanishes. Never heard from again. His mom contacted the workers at the cemetery and they told her that they witnessed the officer pulled Williams over and asked him for identification, which he did not have. The employer stated that the officer then patted him down, put him in the back of his patrol car, and before he drove off, Calkins asked the cemetery employees if he could leave the Cadillac in the lot. Then the officer came back 15 minutes to an hour later without Calkins. Did he have time to go to the Circle K and back in that time? And then he moved the Cadillac from the parking spot to the side of the road so he could have it towed for blocking traffic. The car keys were found on the ground beside the car. Following the witness statement, the Williams family repeatedly called the sheriff's department. That's repeatedly, over and over, trying to speak to Officer Calkins. Upon being contacted by dispatch, the officer claimed he had no memory of making any arrests or having any cars towed. I don't remember nothing on the day of Williams' disappearance. He was contacted later and claimed to have a somewhat better recollection. Oh, wait, I think I remember something of his contact with Williams. A few days later, Calkins' supervisors asked him to submit an incident report. Calkins' report states that he first came in contact with Williams at 12:15 after noticing that his car was driving in distress. Calkins claimed he followed him to the cemetery parking lot and that he asked for a ride to a nearby Circle K convenience store because he was late for work. Yeah, unbelievable. Williams did not work at Circle K. According to Calkins, after dropping him off at the Circle K, Williams told him the paperwork for the car was in the vehicle's glove compartment. Oh, wait, I got an excuse to come back. I need an excuse to come back. This is what I'm going to say. Oh, I got to go look at the paperwork in the glove box. Calkins claimed that he returned to the catalog and discovered that the proper registration was not in the car and that he felt deceived. Well, I feel deceived because I feel like this isn't the truth. So he called Circle K from his work-issued cell phone and asked to speak to Williams. The clerk allegedly told him over the phone that Williams did not work there. According to the report, Calkins then called in the license plate number and found that the license plates were expired. However, further investigation revealed that phone and surveillance records did not back up Calkins' story, that he never dropped him off at Circle K and he never made a phone call. There was no sign of Williams or Calkins on surveillance footage from the Circle K, and the phone records from Calkins' cell phone showed that he never called Circle K. So none of it, nothing that he said was true, nothing. Circle K employees were interviewed, and no witnesses could be found to place Calkins or Williams there. At this point, Marcia filed a complaint against Calkins. And this is her son. Yeah, I mean, she's never seen her son again since then. So she knows he's dead. She knows he's dead because she's never seen or heard from him again. And the last person he was seen with was Officer Calkins, who has not been arrested, who is not, as far as I know, I don't think he's been arrested. Don't quote me on that. Maybe he did get arrested, but I don't think so. A new lead in the case surfaced when the Mexican consulate in Miami contacted Marcia to tell her about another man who had vanished in a similar fashion. Because, hey, you think he's not done it before? Of course he's done it before. This is just the first time he's getting caught, but he's probably done it lots of times. Like somebody goes shoplifting, they'll do it again and again and again and again, and then whoops, suddenly they get caught. Oh, this is the first time. Or a man who cheats on his wife. He'll do it over and over and over again when he gets caught. Oh, this has got to be the first time I've done it, right? No. Mexican immigrant Felipe Santos had gone missing 3 months before. 3 months before. After Calkins claimed he dropped him off at another Circle K, approximately 4 miles from the location where he claimed he dropped off Williams. Where did he do with him? Did he kill him right away? Did he chain him up? What did he do with him? Is he killing him because he's too lazy to do the paperwork? I mean, where are these people at? He must have a set place that he's taking them to. That's just unreal. Felipe Santos, 24, was a Mexican national living illegally in the U.S. in a nearby Immokalee, Florida. I don't know how to pronounce that. He had been living in the U.S. for 3 years at the time of his disappearance. Immokalee, maybe. And sending money back to his family in Mexico. Santos was last seen October 1st, 2003 at approximately 6:30 a.m. He was driving to work with his brothers when he was involved in a minor car accident in Naples. Calkins cited Santos for reckless driving and driving without a license or insurance. Placed him in his patrol car. Poof, he's never seen again. Santos was last seen riding away with Calkins. Later that day, Santos' boss contacted the county jail to post bail, and it was discovered that Santos was never booked. Calkins claimed that he changed his mind about the arrest because Santos was polite and cooperative. Hey, after he puts him in the back of the patrol car, he's going to change his mind? And he just dropped him off at some Circle K and drove off, and he was never heard from again. The other driver of the incident contradicted that report, stating that Calkins was agitated about Santos' lack of documentation. He just stated that he was sick and tired of pulling people over. I know I added the sick and the word and. Tired of pulling people over that didn't have licenses, she said. 2 weeks later, after Calkins submitted his incident report, Santos' family filed a missing persons report as well as a complaint against Calkins. An investigation cleared Calkins of any wrongdoing. Who did this investigation? Who did the investigating? How did he get cleared when we know he did something wrong? Santos has not been seen or heard from since. So they just covered his butt. So here he is, this man who got this job, and he's doing really bad things, and there is cleared of any wrongdoing. His wife, Apollonia Cruz Cortez, has questioned the quality of the investigation into the disappearance. I wonder why, citing the fact that she has not been interviewed by investigators. I knew somebody back in the day, years ago, that was trying to get a job as a police officer, and they were even a cadet for a while, and they had shine boots, perfect haircut. Oh yeah, they wanted to be a police officer, and the only reason they wanted to be a police officer is because they knew they wanted a job where they could get away with committing bad crimes. And you have good police officers, but you also have people out there that you have to realize that are looking for certain jobs, jobs in schools, things in churches, even in hospitals or police officers, things where they can do bad things and get away with it. So, which is a bummer. And this man seems to be doing things and getting away with it. Further suspicion was cast on Calkins when a recording of his call to dispatch requested the tow of Williams' car revealed further conflicting statements in his recording. Calkins described the car as abandoned and blocking the road. The statement contradicted both his incident report and the witness statements, both of which reported that Calkins himself moved the vehicle to its location blocking the road. Calkins joked with the operator, maybe he's out there in the cemetery. You think he locked him up somewhere out there in the cemetery and went back and got him? I wonder what he did with him. And then it says, he'll come back and his car will be gone. That's horrible that he said maybe he's out there in the cemetery after whatever he did to him. And then it says he was also heard using inappropriate language during the call, describing the car as a homey Cadillac. Calkins defended his misstatements to the operator, telling investigator that he was just joking around with a friend. After you know he killed him, right? Saying maybe he's out there in the cemetery. Oh, that's terrible. Calkins insisted, like almost bragging about it. Calkins insisted he move the car to assist the towing company as opposed to attempting to make it look abandoned. Well, why would he think it would look abandoned? He doesn't think the guy would come back for his car? Well, of course he knows he's not going to come back for the car, doesn't he? After 20 minutes later, at 1:12 p.m., Calkins requested a background check on Terrance Williams, giving an inaccurate birth date, a specific date that Williams had previously given the police when he was arrested. This contradicts Calkins' earlier statement that he never knew Williams' last name or any other personal details, because the main person of interest in the case was a police officer. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement and the FBI were called into work on the case. Various investigation techniques were used, including the covert placement of a GPS on Calkins' vehicle and a forensic investigation of the patrol car. Cadaver dogs were used to survey the areas identified by the GPS, but these turned up no further evidence. Calkins was subsequently fired from the department for providing conflicting information about both missing person cases and for not cooperating with the investigation. Well, maybe he put him somewhere and then moved him after work. I mean, he's got all the tools of the trade. The case went without any leads for a number of years until 2012, when a number of national programs began covering the case, including Disappeared, Anderson Cooper 360, and Dateline NBC. In 2017, the investigation series Deadline Crime with Tamron Hall investigated the disappearance of Williams and Santos. Entertainment mogul Tyler Perry went on Al Sharpton's talk show to discuss the disappearance, offering a $200,000 reward for information. Well, I don't see how this gives them any leads. Anyway, one popular theory for the disappearance is that the Starlight Hour theory, the term originated by the Canadian province of Saskatchewan. I can't pronounce it. Saskatchewan Saskatchewan. I don't know. And describes the practice of police driving individuals to the edge of town or outside of city limits and abandoning them to find their own way home. I don't think that's what he did. The practice came to light in 2000 when a man named Daryl Knight reported being picked up by police after leaving a party and driven outside of town and dropped off in a rural area in freezing conditions. Yeah, but it's not freezing. Yeah, and if, I don't know, that just sounds, you can pause this and read it if you want to. But it says he was found deceased weeks later, so he might have put him somewhere. I don't know. You don't know what he did. This one says a number of podcasts have explored the theory that Santos and Williams were dropped off in the nearby Everglades and died of exposure or other perils. Yeah, we don't know what he did to him. And then here's a lot of photos of him. Wow. Terrance Dion Williams on the TheCharleyProject. He was 27 years old. 5'8" to 6 foot, 160, 175 pounds. It talks about what he was wearing and his distinguishing characteristics. Williams was last seen in Naples, Florida in 2004. And it talks about, it says Williams was driving a white Cadillac which was having engine problems. He did not have a valid driver's license, so he was having engine problems. And he claimed he stopped him on the road, but Calkins says he did not cite Williams for anything but dropped him off at the Circle K. I don't want to read all this again, so. But yeah, that's just horrible. Authorities stated that Calkins gave inconsistent accounts of the events leading up to Williams' disappearance. And he eventually just stopped cooperating with the investigation. He took 3 polygraph tests about Williams and Santos cases, and one of the tests showed evidence of deception. So he's 17-year veteran of the police department. Had a clean record, so he'd never gotten caught prior to this, and he worked there for 17 years. Who knows what all he did during this 17 years? Who knows? Because he never got caught. He never got caught until, and they cleared him of the one, so he never got caught until that mother was looking into it. And who knows, because other people, they're not able to do all those things. And nobody's going to care, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he figured nobody would care about him because they didn't have the license. Who knows what all he did in 17 years? Who knows? Is anybody even looking into it? I wonder if anybody's come forward that they've done things to. Oh. That's crazy. Williams was employed as a cook at Pizza Hut in Bonita Springs, Florida at the time of his disappearance. He'd only been working there a few weeks. He also has work experience in the construction field. In December 2020, the court-appointed arbitrator decided there was insufficient evidence to find Calkins liable for Williams' death. What? Everybody knows he did it. That is so wrong. He had 4 children. It says there's no evidence of foul play in Williams' case, and the investigators believe he may simply be lying low. What? Oh, that's horrific. That's horrific. So this man just got away with this. Just got away with this so far, it looks like. I just think this is terrible. I hope he doesn't get away with it. I really hope he does not get away with this, because, that is just so sad. And there is Felipe Santos, which nobody probably ever would have heard about his case. It would have just been buried right then and there. Oh, what can we do? So he's done it. I just can't even believe this. No evidence of foul play has been uncovered in the Santos case, and investigators believe he may simply be lying low to avoid being arrested. See? That's just unbelievable. Can you even believe that? And see, even this right here says some pedophiles have tried to put themselves in jobs that give them access to children. Why are we surprised when serial killers do the same thing? Because that's what they do. They try to get jobs where they can do things where they can get away with it. And this one talks about a fireman in California that got away with several arsons and nobody suspected a thing until years later. Hiding in plain sight seems to work sometimes. So. And these are comments on Reddit. There's a serial killer in uniform. He was smart enough to start killing people after he got the uniform. But who knows? Now he has a shield of police to let him roam around killing. And that's why people don't trust that, because you got to hold these people accountable if they're doing jobs like this. You have people that are bad getting these jobs, and in order to correct it, you've got to, we've got good police officers and bad police officers, but when you have someone that's bad, you can't cover for him. You've got to do something about that. Otherwise, there's not going to be any trust. If you've got prosecutors that are putting innocent people in jail or in prison because they don't care about people and they're bad, you can't trust them anymore. And if you're letting them do this, there's no trust. And if you have a police officer that you know is killing people, or probably is killing people, and you're letting him get away with that, or you're covering it up, or he's doing wrong things, then they're not going to trust any of them, because they're not going to know how many of them you're covering for. And something has to be done. It's got, don't they understand this? That's crazy. Note to self, if ever becoming serial killer, follow one police officer and kidnap the one he's let go. Probably not that uncommon along many other abusers by police officers. I was actually amazed that one lady who killed her neighbor got convicted. The Baltimore cop responsible for a kid's death in a rough ride had a long history of domestic abuse, including holding his wife at gunpoint for hours. Despite this, he remained a cop, a police officer. So, yeah. The Golden State Killer, it says, wasn't he also a cop? I don't know, was he? So, it's not, it's just It's just sad. It's just sad. And this one said he may have raped and murdered him. Because you don't know. He might have, I don't know. And this is, it's a typical cop. But I don't think it's typical. I just think that you have good people and bad people. And that bad people are smart enough to look for things like that where they can get away with it. Because they're not going to be stupid. I feel like there must be a Rage Against Machine song about that. Tonight's the night. So he's. And you don't know what his intentions were or why he did it or what he did. He might have just thought, oh, I can get away with it because they don't have ID. So, who knows? And this one says pretty obviously, he did something bad. Killed him or left him to die, or who knows what's worse. This one says they might have taken him to the edge of the map to find their way back. But in Florida, there's gators and stuff, so. This one said, or he locked him up in his basement. He could have did something with him. He could have locked him up and then took him home, took him somewhere. Who knows? Because he's being a police officer, he knows all these different places. He's been a police officer for, what did it say, like 17 years? He knows places, so who knows what he did? Wow. And like they said, of course they're dismissing the charges. Can you believe that? That's crazy. This one says the officer was fired and isn't in the area anymore. So where is he located? Is he a police officer somewhere else? I've heard of police officers doing bad things in one place and then moving somewhere else and becoming a police officer again and then killing somebody. And then people saying, well, they didn't, they, even when they had a bad background. So I don't know. I hope not, but we don't know. That's crazy that he didn't go to jail. So similar looking men disappeared in a similar fashion after being arrested and let go by the same cop. Well, it wouldn't be the first time a police officer turned out to be a serial killer, but that doesn't mean that all cops are bad. It doesn't. It just means that there are bad people that are getting jobs that they want to get away with it. So, yeah. You think they would find him by now, but there's a lot of comments. You can go on here and scroll and see because it looks like there's hundreds of comments. Just can't even believe this. Whoops. Some of them are bad, so. Detectives say both men were seen with Calkins outside North Naples Cemetery 3 months apart. Calkins was fired from the force for lying to investigators, but never criminally charged for lack of evidence. I just cannot even believe this. So you don't know what he did with those men. You don't know what his intentions were. I don't know. I hope they didn't suffer. Who knows what he did. This one said, I recently had a cop threaten me to get me in jail just for talking back at him. It wasn't a fun experience. That's not the same thing, though, And it's not dumping him in the cold because it's not cold there. So I don't know what he did. I just can't even believe that. I just, some people have said maybe the police officer did really, really bad things to them and then killed them, but you don't know. I don't know why haven't they found their body or anything. I don't know what he did. I just can't even believe that. And who knows? I can't believe that they just, when you read things like this one, Felipe Santos, and you go to the end and it says no evidence of foul play has been uncovered in Santos' case, and investigators believe he may simply be lying low to avoid being arrested. And then you go to Terrance Williams and you go down and you scroll down to it. It says, um, there is no evidence of foul play in Williams' case, and investigators believe he may simply be lying low to avoid being arrested. The same thing. So he disappeared and he's never been heard from again. And he's never contacted his mother. And the last person he was seen with, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. It's so sad. It's so sad that people can do this. Anyway, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? I'm not anti-law enforcement because, we do need law enforcement. But I believe in justice, and if we're going to have justice, you can't have justice for one person and not for another person. If a police officer's doing bad things, he has to be punished for it. You can't just let him go and let him be a police officer somewhere else and do bad things to somebody else again and just let him off. And then you hear he does it to this gentleman and they don't do anything to him. So then he does it to somebody else, and then you're wondering how many people he's done things like this to, because we don't know. Apparently nobody's doing anything about it, and then we're wondering if other ones are doing things like that, and people are covering it up, and so they're just allowed to become a serial killer if that's the job they have, and that's not good. That's not good. You need people that hold them accountable. We need a change, apparently. I hope this doesn't happen in other places. This is shocking to me, shocking and horrifying that this is happening. But anywhere. But anyway, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this subject? And I just can't even believe this. It's shocking to me. And I just wonder if there's other people that things like this have happened to that have gone missing and never been heard from again. But I guess we could look that up in the area, right? I don't know if you can on the Charlie Project, but I know if you go to the Doe Network or the NamUs, you could look it up under, they have chronological or geographical cases. So geographical cases would be Naples, Florida. So if we go to geographical cases, and I can't even believe that. That's just horrific. That's just horrific, man. And we go to Florida, and then we scroll down. Oh, it doesn't give the dates, it just gives the names. It's not like, wow. So we don't know. And they're alphabetized. So you don't, wow, look how many people. And we don't know if they're in Naples or not. I wonder if I searched here and clicked in Naples, if it gives me how many people. It says no results. Wasn't this Naples? Naples, Florida. Naples, Florida. Wow. I don't know. That's crazy. Well, there's some A's. That one. That one. Are these Naples, Florida? I don't know if they are or not. Might have to search it like in, oh no, that's North Carolina. That's not even Naples, Florida. I don't know why it did that, so I don't know. This is crazy though. It makes maybe I'll go to NamUs later and look it up and see if they have the ones. Oh, I don't know how long it would take me to do it. If I go to NamUs, maybe I'll do it really quick. And you can stay tuned in to see, or if you're tired of watching it, but let's see. Would it be under dashboards? Come on. Search missing persons. And they disappeared in 2003 and 2004, and he worked there for how long? 17 years? Did he work in the same place for 17 years? So, last date of contact will go to 2004, and minus 17 minus 10 would be 1994. So we'll go back to 1986. It's good enough. And then we need Naples, Florida. Naples. Whoops, it didn't go. Naples. Okay, select the state, and we will go to Florida. Search. 14 cases missing. 14 cases. And we'll go date missing. Yeah. That's crazy. Who knows? Does that mean that date missing is 2019? Oh, I'm just gonna pick one. Let's see. I'm gonna pick. See, this says 2004. Santos is 2003. This is what I want right here. 2004, 2003. Okay, I'm gonna pick this one. And then I'll pick this one. And this one. And this one. 14 years old. Patricia Gonzalez. I don't know if I'll be able to open all these, but 38 years old. And we don't know. We don't know which ones he was involved with. And which ones he wasn't. But there's a lot of people that are missing right there. She may have traveled to Mexico. See? That's just frightening. I wonder what happened to these people. And I feel like if he's done this and gotten caught, that maybe he did it with other people. So I know I feel like, which ones was he involved with? So I don't know if he was involved with other ones or not, because I feel like if somebody's done this and gotten caught, that maybe they've done it before, because that's what I feel like. You talk to people who are probation officers and things like that, that when children get caught stealing, or you talk with somebody whose husband's been cheating on them, and he'll say, oh, this was the first time, but then you'll find out they cheated over and over again. They only just got caught. Or if you find out if somebody's been shoplifting, usually they've done it over and over and over again, and then they finally get caught. So I just, anyway, I'm sorry. Let's please, when you get done watching this, please stop and pray for these people and for their families and their loved ones and anybody else that might have been hurt. And just please pray for them, because this is just so sad and so horrific. And anyway, and thank you so much for tuning in. Like I said, please feel free to leave comments, and have a great day. Bye-bye.